Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. Before I start presenting, let me introduce myself first. My name is Sunu Heas Manguntur. And today I'm going to share with you guys some information related to Japan country. Has anyone ever been to Japan before? Or does anyone have any dreams of going to Japan? This is a map of Japan. Discussion list. In this section, we will discuss about history, culture, custom, traditional food and clothes, tourist destination, and public figures about Japan's country. Next. Number 1. Japan's state history. In this section, we'll discuss a brief history of the state of Japan. Japan, Japanese, Nippon or Nihon. Official name about this zone, Nippon Koku or Nihon Koku. Literal name, Country of Japan. Is an island nation in East Asia. It is located at the western end of the Pacific Ocean, east of the Sea of Japan, and is adjacent to the People's Republic of China, South Korea, and Russia. The northernmost islands are in the Sea of Okhotsk, and the southernmost region is a group of small islands in the East China Sea. To the south of Okinawa, which is neighboring Taiwan or Republic of China. Next. According to traditional mythology, Japan was founded by Emperor Jimmu in the 7th century BC. Emperor Jimmu started the chain of the Japanese monarchy that has not been broken to this day. However, throughout its history, for most of the time, the real power was in the hands of courtiers, the shogun, the military, and into modern times, in the hands of the prime minister. According to the Japanese Constitution of 1947, Japan is a constitutional monarchy under the leadership of the Emperor of Japan and the Japanese Parliament. Next. Around about Japan. This is a Japanese flag, symbol of Japanese government. Let's move on to the next point. Number 2. Japan's state culture. In this section, we'll discuss a culture of the state of Japan. Japan's culture includes the interaction between the strong native German culture and foreign influence that follow. At first, China and Korea had a lot of influence, starting with the development of the Yayoi culture around 300 BC. The combination of Greek and Indian cultural traditions influencing Japan's art and religion since the 6th century AD was complemented by the introduction of Mahayana Buddhism. Since the 16th century, Europe influence has been prominent, followed by the influence of the United States, which dominated Japan after the end of World War II. Japan contributes to the development of an original and unique culture in art like ikebana, origami, ukiyo-e, handicraft, like sculpture, pottery, offerings, or bunraku dolls, traditional dance, kabuki, no rokugo, and traditions, Japanese game, onsen, sento, tea ceremony, Japanese garden, as well as Japanese cook. Next. Today, Japan is one of the largest exporters of pop culture. Japanese anime, manga, fashion, film, literature, video games, and music are receiving rough reviews around the world. Especially in other Asian countries, Japan's youth love to create new trends and their return for following their style influence fashion and trends all over the world. The excellent youth market is a test for new consumer electronics products, whose style and function are determined by Japanese users before being considered for worldwide circulation. Let's move on to the next point. Number 3. Japan State Custom. In this section, we'll discuss a Japanese custom. Number 1. Very sanitary. In Japan, throwing garbage in this place has become an ingrained habit. If you visit Japan, you will have a little trouble finding a trash can, even though it's difficult by no one is littering. People will carry their trash with them until they return home. Next, no noise in public transportation. When you are on public transportation in Japan, you will feel very quiet. Even though the number of people inside is very full like sardines in a can. This is because Japanese people don't want to disturb public peace. If their cell phone rings, they will immediately reject the call or talk briefly explaining that they are on public transportation. Next. Cycling to school. There are many Japanese motorcycle and car brands marketed in Indonesia. However, students in Japan prefer to ride bicycle rather than motorbikes or private car. Next, manner. Japan is a country with a high level of politeness. The community has a high awareness in terms of decency, order, and cleanliness. Next, prefer public transportation over private vehicles. Although the price of vehicles in Japan is relatively cheap, Japanese people are reluctant to use private vehicles and prefer to take public transportation. This is because if someone buys a vehicle, then they must have a parking lot or rent an existing parking lot at a relatively expensive price. In addition, high taxes also make Japanese citizens reluctant to take private vehicles. Next, hardworking and full of innovation. Japanese people are very famous for hard work. They spend a lot of time at work. Even in Japan, parents will be proud when their children come home late from work. In Japan, one of the principles of Kaizen is known, which means creative, innovative, and productive. This is what causes the Japanese people are not afraid to issue works that are unique. creative and different from the others. Let's move on to the next point. Number 4. Traditional food and clothes. In this section, we'll discuss a traditional food and clothes of the state of Japan. Japan's food is one of the foreign foods that are usually found in Indonesia. Food from the country of Sakura is served from fast food restaurant shop to street vendors. With characteristic, unique processing techniques, the taste is also suitable for the tongue of the Indonesian people, making Japanese food popular. Next, Japan's traditional food of sorts, like sushi, sashimi, shabu-shabu, ramen. Next, onigiri, takoyaki, mochi, udon, and dorayaki. How do you think the food looks nice? And next, Japan's clothes. Kimono is a traditional Japanese clothing consisting of the kanji ki, which means to wear, and mono, which means object or good. Kimono was first worn by the nobility around the year 794 until 1185, which in Japan's history is known as the Heian period. One of the uniqueness of kimono clothing is seen from its shape like the letter T, with a length up to the ankles. Women's kimono are in the form of overall, while men's kimonos are in the form of suits. When worn, the right collar should be under the left collar. Let's move to the next point. Number 5. Tourist destination. In this section, we'll discuss a tourist destination of the state of Japan. Tokyo Disneysea. Tokyo Disneysea, an aquatic theme park, makes it the perfect place to visit during the summer. It features many Disney water-themed films such as The Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, as well as several remastered films, such as The Tower of Terror. There's also an entire area dedicated to Aladdin called the Arabian Coast, which will make you feel like you're actually walking around the city of Agrabah. Apart from rates, the park's accommodations are very detailed, such as the Hotel Miracosta, which is a recreation of the Mediterranean port. Next, Akihabara and Harajuku. Akihabara is an anime fan's dream come true. The streets are lined with big shops that look on cosplay, anime, manga, and electronic. This place is totally normal to see fans walking around in full cosplay. For those of you who aren't interested in anime, Harajuku is the fashion district, and it's the perfect place to buy clothes you can find at home. Next, Tokyo Tower and Skytree. The most famous tourist spot in Japan is the Tokyo Tower, which was built in the 1915 as an antenna for broadcast TV. The design is inspired by the Eiffel Tower in France. Tourists climb the tower to the top of an observation deck every day. However, Tokyo Tower is far from being the highest point in the city. The tallest tower is called Sky Tree. Both towers provide stunning views of Tokyo, and Sky Tree even has its own shopping mall and aquarium. Keep in mind that tickets for both of the buildings can be quite expensive and the lines are very long. Next, Mount Fuji. If you like the outdoors, consider climbing Mount Fuji as high as 20,388 feet. The trail is only open from July to September, as the weather gets very cold at the top of the mountain. If you are not ready to climb to summit, you can still take pictures from afar. The most popular spot for photos of Mount Fuji is the Gotemba Pace Park in Gotemba City, which is open years round. Next, Matsumoto Temple. Matsumoto Temple or castle is one of the last remaining castles in Japan. The castle was built in the 1500s and housed 23 different feudal lords during his lifetime. Spring is one of the most popular times to visit, as the cherry blossoms around the plantation are in full bloom. The interior of the castle has been converted into a museum, displaying the weapons used in battle in the castle ground. Let's move to the next point. Number 6. Japan State Public Figure. In this section, we'll discuss a Japan State public figure. Eiichiro Oda. Eiichiro Oda is a mangaka, creator of One Piece. His work is now known in various parts of the world. Since childhood, the man who was born January 1, 1975 in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan, has always dreamed of becoming a pirate and mangaka. From the age of 4, Eiichiro Oda declared that he had decided to become a manga artist. At the age of 17, Eiichiro Oda created a work entitled Wanted. His work won various awards, one of which is the Tezuka Award. Next, Eiichiro Oda recalls that his interest in the pirate character was sparked by the popular anime TV series called Vicky the Viking. Entering 1997, One Piece first appeared in Shonen Jump magazine and was not one of the most popular manga in Japan, but the only best-selling manga serial of all time. In 2013, the series won the 41st Japanese Cartoons Association Grand Prize, along with Kimichi Yokoyama's Nekoda recognized. In a 2008 poll conducted by marketing research film Oricon, Eiichiro Oda was voted the 5th favorite manga artist in Japan. In the 2010 poll of mangaka who changed manga history, Eiichiro Oda came in fourth. Let's move to the next point. Sun Oguri. Sun Oguri, also known as Oguri Sun, is the actor of Takia Genji in the film Crow Zero. Sun Oguri's name was increasingly recognized when he played Genji in the fairly successful film Crow Zero and was greeted enthusiastically by fans of the film. Sun Oguri was born in Tokyo, Japan on December 26, 1982. Sun Oguri made his acting debut in 1995, but his first scene role came only in 1998 as a supporting actor in the popular drama Great Teacher Onizuka. Next. Since then, he has starred in supporting roles in various dramas, including popular dramas such as Summer Snow, Gokusen, Kyumei Byoto 24, G3, and Densa Otoku etc. His breakthrough came in 2005 as one of the main characters in Hanayori Dango. His subsequent dramas such as Detective Conan and Hanazakari no Kimitachi, or also known as Hanakimi, were also well received by fans, making him one of the most sought after Japanese actors today. Do you have a favorite public figure according to you guys? So, in conclusion, Japan is a great country still clinging to its traditional custom and culture. I wanted to go to the country because I like the cool tourist spots. Especially, I am also a fan of anime. Akihabara is a place I am obliged to visit. More than that, it would be incomplete without seeing Mount Fuji in Japan, a very beautiful and very popular icon in addition to the tourist tours. The food, I want to see more than just YouTube or television programs. Surely, I only eat halal food ya guys ya. I think that's all for today. I hope you find it useful. Thank you and see you everyone.